The London one, there's one in Bristol as well. Yeah, so we always get excited to play London. I always want that, just their fans get a bit upset.
Unleashing the wiry limbs, scratching for some memory. Remember the single force of anatomy a teacher follows. Handle so carefully with those lost shadows. Sitting watching those fragments from the outside, from the eye, without your punishment. I'm wishing and hunting for you, painting an ornament for ornament's sake, losing a twice fortunate face. To gain burns, lost forever, forever lost. Loving is shot, curves the truth. It's misinformation, so much like abuse. Loving is shot, he cut the truth. It's misinformation, so much like abuse.
So that was me, John Doyle, band live at the Hope and Anchor a little while ago. I can't remember what date it was now, something like 26th of July, something along those lines. Anyway, I am the futurist from John Doyle Band, or Derek Anthony Williams if you prefer. But right now I think I prefer the futurist. Anyway, coming up later on, as is quite evident, you can see that we've got Dawn of Elysium coming on. There you can see poor Emma's a bit knocked off the screen there. I ought to smallerize that like I have done in the past. Hold on. Make it all nice now so you can actually see them all. Yeah, that's a good idea. Very professional. Right, here we are. There you go. It's missed off a little bit of near futurist TV, but it won't matter that much, will it? Right, yeah, so in the meantime, we should probably get on and play you some music of things to expect at the Black Midwinter Festival, for example, which is why we're interviewing Dawn of Elysium later, because they're playing on a Friday with the Wattingers and Byronic Sex in Exile. I'll see if I can get you some Wattingers first, I think. What shall we have? I interviewed them a little while ago, and that was a really enjoyable interview. Do go and check that out if you can. Let's see, the Wattingers. Let's have something that I think is some of their Seven Devils music, which is their more serious stuff. So we'll have a bit of that. Maybe a bit of Bionic Sex in Exile as well. I don't know. We'll see how we get on. Yes, I think the Wattingers look a very spectacular band. So let's have a bit of them. This is Bloodslain by the Wattingers.
Much obliged. This next song here is called Bloodslain. You'll see Seven Devils. That's kind of a side project of the one. Same thing, really. The sun rings each morning, lifted out hands, shouting with no corpses, roll across the land. Woe to a man or slave by the only man who can kill angels and devils with the bloodstained God-cursed hand.
Right, okay, yes, that was the Wattingers in Seven Devils mood. Bloodslain, very much looking forward to them. Bit of a different flavour, a bit more, so it is very much industrial, slaughterhouse, blues, country, voodoo, whatever. I love it. I think it's great. I can't wait to see them live. Anyway, so what shall we have next? I say we have a bit of Chaos Bleak, actually, as they're playing the festival the day after. We have Dawn of Elysium, but you know, it's important to show all things that are happening there. So this will be on the Saturday. This is Chaos Bleak, the Weak and the Strong. So we'll have a bit of that from Nottingham.
horizon, but the seeds, but who's the ones that bring the harvest in? Like a hand needs the glove, a hammer needs the nail. The weak and the strong, we breathe the same air. Oh, hell of whatever, be a strong drink in the chain. It'll be a long hard road, but we'll get there. No hopes, I don't agree. No one should be above me. My contribution is important as the next man. We want peace and security, never go to war. So far so good, it's true, but the game is rigged in another's favour. Like a hand needs a glove, a hammer needs the nail. The weak and the strong, we breathe the same air. Oh, hell of whatever, be a strong link in the chain. It'll be a long hard road, but we'll get there.
Right, that was Chaos Bleak being rather excellent there. I think that's a rather excellent track. And Trevor on guitar there, he's a big proponent of how goth is rarely recognised as being something sort of extant. So every great goth tunes and the best goth you can hear and stuff, it pretty much always just goes up to the 80s, whereas Trevor's been around through all that, but he was big active with Nightbreed Records in the 90s and that sort of thing, and these goth roundups really include that, which is an important thing to do. Right, I'm going to play you a bit of Dawn of Elysium now, and then we will get on with having a chat with them. This would be Storm.
that's all we've got time for. Cheers for coming down, and thanks so much to Joel for putting us on. Cheers, have a great night, guys.
Near Futurist TV, which I'm interviewing you for the purposes, obviously, that I asked you to join my Black Midwinter Festival, as we were going to do last year, but you went and got ill. Why did you do that?
I was full of the flu at the time. I was incapable of doing anything, unfortunately. So,
I mean, why did you do that when you had a festival to play? That's not very clever, is it? You know.
Well, we missed the. We were going to go to watch Fields of the Nephilim in Manchester. Well, the night before. The weekend was just completely destroyed, unfortunately.
Yeah, we were very sorry you couldn't join us then. I mean, you were at one of my sort of first sort of revived goth events in Sheffield some time ago as well, and we had quite a good night, quite a busy night. Yeah, so anyway, so Dawn of Elysium have been around for over 10 years now. So how's it been then, surviving 10 years, and did you expect to make it all that way?
There's been an awful lot of changes over the past 10 years. Most of them over the past 3 or 4 years, really. We've just continued evolving, continued moving on. The sound has definitely developed over the years. Now we've got this new lineup. It's developed again. So started off more post-punk, obviously with the backing tracks and all the rest of it. And I think over the course of the years, we've just gone a little bit more heavier, sort of gone back a bit more to my roots, which sort of lay in the doom metal aspect of things. Very, very West Yorkshire type of style. And it really suits having Gordon and Knight in the band now. They sort of come from that back. So you've probably noticed that Charles isn't with us at the moment. He's been a major staple of the band since it started, but he's sort of on an extended hiatus now because he's become a parent. So he's sort of taking as much time as he needs to sort of change his priorities and do what he needs to do. Whether he comes back remains to be seen, but there's always a space for it, you know.
So how's it been then, integrating new members to the band when you were you'd been a sort of fairly solid lineup for a while, I think, hadn't you? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because, you know.
Well, it's been the three of us, myself, Emma and Charles, since almost day one, really.
Tim on guitar.
Yeah, we had Tim Furs on guitar for a while. Yeah. Yeah, after lockdown, he felt unable to continue with the band at the time. Then we had Isaac and Kaz in the band, so we had female vocals for a while. And then towards the end of last year, that was sort of coming to its conclusion, that particular lineup. So we sort of regrouped and got the lineup that you see before you now.
So you opted to add live or acoustic drumming, shall we say, to the band as well, as opposed to the backing track method. Why did you decide you wanted to do that as opposed to keep it simple with the whole backing track idea?
We actually started off with a live drummer in the very early days. Phil Holroyd, the guy that started off with us. Being in a band wasn't really for him. But when we started doing gigs, he sort of felt unable to sort of commit to the sort of life of being in a band. He'd not really been in a band before, which is fair enough. It's not for everybody. You've got to be very good. And we always really did want live drums, but we needed to find the right person. And it took us 10 years to find the right person, because we still wanted all the backing tracks there. But, we needed to find somebody that was happy to play to a click. So we've still got all the synth effects and all the rest of it. Gordon will tell you a bit more about what he does.
Well, yeah, it's been quite a journey for me.
So let's hear it from new members as to what it's been like being added to this existing band, and how easy it was to integrate and indeed say play along to the backing tracks and that sort of thing?
Yeah, like I say, it's been a journey, but I think it's been quite a pleasurable experience as well. To be fair, Alex is such a strong songwriter that just tag on some things that just take what I feel like I need.
And if there's any way you can sort of try and speak louder or get closer at all, it's almost impossible to hear you, I'm afraid.
Right. Oh, yeah. So I'm just saying that because Alex is such a strong songwriter, I managed to just pick out parts of what he's written already. He's obviously done the drum tracks prior to me being in the band. So I pick out what I feel is relevant to my style and his style, and then see if that works. So far, it seems that it has worked really well. And then I think now I've just taken a similar approach.
Yeah. Well, the first time I met Alec and Emma was at the original Exchange Bar in Bradford. I went to see a band called Jigsaw Culture, which my wife recommended to me, and I was an instant fan. And then I moved up to Yorkshire from the Midlands, became friends with Alec and Emma, and was a fan of the band anyway. And when Alec asked me if I fancied joining, it wasn't a hard decision to join. The music's great, but the rapport and the friendship is important to me as well. And I've been in bands with Gordon in the past anyway, so knowing everybody's personalities and characters made it an easy decision for me. I love Alex's guitar work, so it's been easy for me to either duplicate or add little bits, my own little bits.
It's hard to make it, you
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when was the first gig that you joined in with then?
The one that you've just shown, actually, the one in 12.
The
video that you've just shown, the performance that
20th of May.
20th of May. That this year then, 20th of May, that's when everyone... So did it go as smoothly as you'd hoped, having new people along, or were there any hiccups on the first time, or did you just rehearse the hell out of it so that you knew it was going to work?
Well, yeah, we did rehearse the hell out, because both Gordon and I are perfectionists anyway. We put a lot of graft into it. There's always room for improvement from everyone. We felt we had a strong start to it.
Actually, the week before, we recorded a full gig twice with no audience.
Sorry, Emma, but the vocal, you're just not being picked up at all. I think the iPad being some distance away from you is proving a little bit difficult, unfortunately. You might like to, I don't know, pass it between you or something. I don't know if that would work.
Yeah, let me go and get it. Bring it a bit closer.
But unfortunately, half the time, regrettably, it's rather dropped out totally. So perhaps angle it at the speaker or something when there is something to say. That's better.
So what I was saying is, the week before, we actually recorded the full gig live without an audience at Studio 5 Live in Keighley. We're also working on a music video at the moment, so some footage is going to be used in that, but we were then able to analyse the performance a lot more and work on any areas we needed to before the live gig.
And so is there any plans for new members to actually, I mean, with writing new music, is it going to move forward in sort of new members adding to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So
let me turn you around.
Hello. So
Hello again.
obviously, when the guys joined, we had quite a lot of material already there. There's a full album recorded that we're sort of including Gordon and Nigel's parts on. Been working on it for about 3 years now, on and off. So that the plan is to finish the album, and then once we've done that, we've got a clear slate to start writing some new stuff. I'm very excited to start writing with these guys because they're both very accomplished musicians. They're also in a band called Hollow Earth, which is more metal, progressive doom metal, which is sort of fits kind of nicely with the ethos of what we're doing too. We're not going to go too far down that road, but it's sort of part of the wider influence, really.
So do you think the existing songs will then be shaped, or do you think you'll come up with entirely new things with the addition of new? Has it given you new ideas of where you can go to have this influence?
Absolutely, it has. Yeah, we've still got a number of songs that we've not performed together yet, which I'm excited about doing. Some of the stuff, some that we've never played live before as well, album tracks. But yeah, absolutely, all of the above, really. Reworking old stuff. I love what Gordon and Nigel have already brought to the existing songs, and we're just going to go onwards and upwards with that, really.
And is there any sort of particular goal that you think you'd like to achieve that wasn't there before by having this new lineup? Do you think there's anything that you weren't capable of before that now seems in reach?
I think the answer to that is getting a more varied variety of gigs as well, playing with more bands that aren't necessarily on the goth scene, more sort of on the metal scene. It just opens a lot of doors for us, really. We can sit more comfortably now with those bands, whereas before, when we've tried to do events like that, they weren't so keen on the backing track aspect of it. So we're definitely a more live band now. But we've still got our gothic roots, so hopefully we can still deliver on that scene too, really.
Yes, best of both worlds.
Yes, everything combines for a healthy mix of everything. And so I was wondering, like, despite the goth roots and everything, I mean, you've never been one to want to dress up so much. I mean, obviously, much like myself. I mean, you know, this is just how I look without makeup, obviously. So why do you feel you've never been inclined towards the dressing up?
I've just always been about the music, really.
It's not without encouragement.
No.
At least Emma makes an effort, you know.
Much to Emma's disappointment. No, I've never really been one for dressing up or makeup or anything like that. I'm a musician first and foremost, and I like to perform the music, really. You know, I do try and make a bit of an effort now and again, but obviously not to the degree that somebody like yourself does, or Joel, or people on the scene that are known for more image-based performances.
Image is everything. Who cares about talent and skill?
Yeah.
Look good first, sound good later, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of the opposite to me, really. But yeah, okay, we all get different things out of performing, don't we, I suppose?
So obviously you mentioned you've got like a bit of rock roots. What's those? I mean, I think I've seen some of them myself on Facebook of what you've liked, sort of very, very ungothy stuff. But let's hear of each people's sort of origins musically.
So this is probably more one for Nigel and Gordon, really. I'll just sort of turn. So what are your influences, and what influences do you want to bring to this sound? Multiple.
Yeah, influences personally. Probably my first major influence as a teenager was Adam and the Ants. Then I became huge fan of Queen and was lucky enough to see him with Freddie. Then my brother introduced me to Sabbath, Rainbow, Deep Purple. So I followed the rock route. Then I just wanted more, so I got into prog rock, Rush, Yes, King's X, bands like that. What I like about Dawn of Elysium is I find them quite hard to put in a bracket, a genre bracket, because there's that many genres going on. Obviously, you've got the goth thing and the prog thing and the ambient thing. There's obviously some metal, bit of doom. Big fan of Paradise Lost, who I think we're all big fans of.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I'd like to bring a little bit of my influences in without taking away the core of what Dawn of Elysium is.
Yeah, so I pretty much followed the same path as Nige, apart from I quite was into AC/DC, and Nige thinks they're awful.
Below average, I think I said.
Below average, yeah.
AC/DC are absolutely
Yeah.
horrendously bad, but you know.
Well, you know, and when Back in Black came out, we're talking 81, you know, and it was the first heavy rock album I ever bought. So I think it was a good direction to go in. And it obviously opens up all the different avenues for all the different genres that are connected through it. So, yeah, so you listen to goth and you listen to prog, and everything brings its own value into what you want to do as a musician. So that's, yeah, pretty much made up who I am today. And got an absolute love for making original music.
So we should probably have a little bit more of a word with Emma, as she's been rather horribly excluded from the video, mostly as off to the right hand side. Poor Emma. So you've been in Dawn of Elysium a while, and what do you feel you bring to the band, and what's your origin musically?
Well, I bring the riff. So
And the glamour, of course.
glamour, yep. I always like to dress up. Nike also likes to dress
I
up
do.
as well.
I do.
He's got a lovely waistcoat, purple waistcoat, fits right in. But we have been having a bit of a synchronization with some tie-dye vibes, because nobody else is doing that.
No,
So
I mean,
why not?
got to have your own gimmick, haven't you? You know.
Yeah. We sometimes colour coordinate, so it's always a little bit of something. But music-wise, obviously I was brought up on Queen. I'm a lot younger as well, but I was brought up on things like Queen and Fleetwood Mac, so I've always been a big fan of those and Stevie Nicks. But as I got older, I did have a little phase where we were into Green Day and all the little emo bands. But then I found goth when I was about 15-ish. I started going to the Wendy House in Leeds. Found all the bands that I still love and listen to today, like Sisters of Mercy, Fields of the Nephilim, some electronic influences as well, like VMV. But I think my greatest bass influences are still Tony Petit from Fields of the Nephilim and Peter Rooks from Joy Division. And Sisters, Pat Morrison. Yep, they're my faves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then,
They're definitely the influences you want to have for goth, obviously. But I mean, obviously, if you're really going to be a goth band, you best not admit that you are, obviously.
well, I don't think we are really anymore. I think we're a bit of all sorts. As they say, we're not really labelling it.
Yeah.
We're gothic pop, gothic prog, gothic doom, gothic metal. We can
You're everything.
fit
But
in where we
generally
need to.
more on the harder side of the darker music scene, definitely.
Definitely, yeah. And I think Alec is, and as I've been playing bass pretty much since I started maybe about 15 years ago, joined the action director with Doyle and Quasimodo, DawnOfElysium. We all started running simultaneously. So I feel like over that time I'm still learning. I'm still feeling like I'm new to it. Sometimes I'll come up with a riff and then Alec helps me develop that into a song. Sometimes it's the other way around. You know, I have to then try and write something to something he's come up with. So we're very fluid in the way that nobody's sort of in charge. We
Yeah.
can always, any of us can say, right, got an idea, and we'll bring it to the table and see what we can do with it. So I'm really looking forward to when we finish the album, and then we can start writing and really see what we all sound like.
Right, so we're probably about done for now. So just say if we just ask one thing of just make sure there's nothing requested sort of question wise in the chat, nothing so far, just see if anyone happens to say anything whilst I'm asking. But what's the reason for people to make sure they don't miss the Dawn of Elysium show at Black Midwinter then?
Because you won't have seen it yet.
Yeah, we're definitely going to bring something very different to the table, I think. Yeah, something different, yet well, familiar for people that have seen us before, but different still, you know.
It's the same but different.
Same,
Two new
but
members.
different. Yep. So if you think you've seen us before, you haven't seen out yet.
Yeah. So
Nice
a new, more exciting, vibrant, and sharper lineup than ever before.
Absolutely, yes.
All right then.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
think
very
this
much
is the band-
looking
this
forward
is
to
the band I've
hosting you.
always-
This is the
Yes.
band you've wanted, yes.
This is the band I've always wanted it to be. Yes, it's high time for us to do this now.
Evolution.
Indeed, it never stops. Right then, I shall now play a track from your appearance at Whitby, at the Whitby Brewery in 2022, April 2022. So we'll have a bit of that and then a bit of other stuff to finish off the show. But I look forward to seeing you on the, what is it again, 24th of November?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, Derek. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, my
always
friend.
good to have a good mix, I think, and I think you'll definitely add something exciting to proceedings. Right then, so let's have Riding the Cloud from Whitby in 2022.
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you very much, Derek. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Well, always good to
friend.
have a good mix, I think, and I think you'll definitely add something exciting to proceedings. Right then, so let's have Riding the Cloud from Whitby in 2022. That was a bit of Dawn of Elysium. Riders on the Storm, was it? Riding the Cloud. Riders on the Storm. That's another band entirely, isn't it? So yes, as previously mentioned, obviously you can catch them at Black Midwinter in November 24th. It is. I'll put that up again there. Look at all we've got there. Byronic Exile, Dawn of Elysium, Watchingers, a Meerkat, and we've got Last July headlining the whole thing on Saturday. We may not have the Golden Age of Nothing. I'm not sure about that. As Graham has recently been in an unfortunate mountain biking accident, so we'll see about that. We've got Gothzilla. We have Chaos Bleak. We have not got Cannibal Fae of Waking Dream after all, apparently, as they have hit upon some unfortunate hard times and can't make it anymore. Right, so we also definitely have Dead Blood Cells. I'll have to make sure I get an interview with them sometime soon. Just utterly fantastic. We've got Palindrones and we've got John Merritt's Remains. So what you might not know if you're not familiar with some of these bands, we've got Dead Blood Cells. They're kind of industrial stuff from Chatham area. Female vocalist Lilith, she's just got such cool sort of Ice Queen sort of still witchiness to about her, which is really quite mesmerizing. Palindrome's electro duo, the female singer and keyboardist involved, and we've got Jamie, who used to be in Down From Above, and Starsha Lee also joining in proceedings there with a bit of keyboard playing and occasional vocals. John Merritt's Remains with their new lineup, so that's exciting stuff there. And we've got a techno after party on the Sunday from Jack No. We've also got Moon Sleep opening up that day. We have Vivid Flashback, who I'm recently fallen in love with. I think they've got such absolutely killer sound. Astrofawn, you may know from previous, was meant to play last year but got ill. And we have Rodney Cromwell, who's moderately well known, and if you've been following FuturisTV, you'll have seen that we did an interview with him not long ago. Glasshouse Museum, also we'll have a bit of them next, I think, and we'll have, there's some, I don't know who that John Doyle band people are, I've never heard of them. Anyway, so let's have a bit of Glasshouse Museum, sounding like proper Yorkshire now. We'll have the committee at Wolf Chambers earlier this year, and that should about wrap things up for today, I think. Unless there's anything anyone in the chat might want to ask me, I thought that might be something interesting to try. With the delay, very difficult to do these things, such a sort of lag between me saying that and things actually being possible to do. So I'm playing Dublin Castle in London on Sunday, so that's quite exciting. I'm doing the headline slot, or graveyarding if you like, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I'm on last from about 10:15 p.m. I've got Zoe, who you saw in the video at the start there, joining me yet again, sort of officially recruited into JDB in London. She's coming up to Leeds on the 21st of October to perform with us as well, so that's going to be exciting. I have to figure out what kind of set I want to do for that yet, but what we're doing on Sunday is going to be largely a body balanced set, but with the addition of a track that's never been performed live before, so that's going to be some pretty exciting stuff. It's actually a track I did with Izzy Kirk, who's known for Tokyo Witch Hunt. We've got that track Void, which I have played on the show previously, so there's that. So anyone got anything you want me to ask me rather? I mean, I can't really ask you much other than have you got anything? So Margaret the Wig, as Margaret Hedwig as she was originally, but I couldn't pass the name originally. All right, yes. Why am I so adorable? Well, that's just my nature, isn't it? Much like Zammy cats. Anyway, we should probably get on. So yeah, we've got a bit of a body balance set on Sunday with a few additions here and there. So looking forward to that. It was interesting when I did the two sets in Doncaster recently. It really kind of brought home to me was what an excellent selection of tracks it is that we have with the Body Balanced EP. Right, I am going to disappear for now and hopefully be back next week. I can't remember if it's Corvid Priest next week or it might be someone else. Anyway, I've got to find some replacements for people who've dropped out of Black Midwinter now, but we'll see. Right, let's have Glasshouse Museum, the committee, live at Wolf Chambers, headlining on 16th of July, and they'll be back headlining on the 21st of October as well. So that's something to look forward to. Right, bye for now.
These drifting sands will swallow you whole. Old things cast long shadows. These shifting sands will swallow you. Take your faith, my friend, and make it sing. Where the vultures wing, where the vultures sing. Take your faith, my friend, and make it sing. Where the vultures sing, where the vultures. Some bones cracks begin to show.